Welcome back to another Monday Mindset episode. You know, I love kicking off the week with breaking down a quote. And if you're new to the show, our Monday Mindset ties into our longer Tuesday episodes. And this week, we're switching gears and focusing on work. I took a break from talking about work for a bit, but as the nicer weather is coming around, I really want to help you mamas get better control of your work days so that you can end your days on time, leave work at work, and really focus your energy on being present with your family and doing the things that light you up outside of work. And we're kicking it off with this quote that I absolutely love. The first time I heard it, I wanted to print it out, hang it up in my cubicle because I loved it so much. And if you're a working mom, I know you've been on the receiving end of this dynamic more times than you could probably count. And that quote is, "Poor planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part." Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life's weekly empowering episode of Monday's Motivational Mindset. And you know what that means. It's time to kickstart your week with a boost of inspiration, positivity, and a full lot of motivation. Working moms, I get it. Mondays can be tough. We all know that. But they're also a chance for a fresh start, a new opportunity, and the perfect day to set the tone for a successful week ahead. I'm Kerri Patt, your host and fellow working mom. Every week, I'll be sharing a motivational quote and we'll break it down, share stories, and uncover the wisdom it holds for our unique journey as working moms. So whether you're getting ready for work, making those school lunches, or just enjoying a quiet moment alone, let's dive into this week's dose of motivation. Let's make this Monday count. This week's quote is one of my absolute favorites to use at work. "Poor planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part." We've all been there, right? You're finally in your zone at work, or maybe you're racing the clock to finish that last minute email before pickup time, and bam, someone swoops in, last minute, frantic. "Can you help with this real quick?" Or, "I totally forgot to do XYZ. Can you take care of it for me?" Or your child's teacher forgot to let you know that it was Wacky Wednesday and your kid had to dress up funky today. Someone drops the ball, we catch it. Someone forgets a deadline, we rearrange our whole afternoon. Someone needs a last minute favor, we push our priorities to the back burner again. We drop everything. We scramble, we rearrange, we put ourselves last again. And listen, I know we do it from a place of love, from a place of loyalty and being team players, but here's the truth. Being helpful doesn't mean being a human fire extinguisher. It's not your job to constantly absorb the consequences of someone else's lack of planning. This quote isn't about being cold or inflexible. It's about boundaries. It's about protecting your time, your energy, your focus so that you could show up for what really matters in your life. Because here's the deal. Just because someone else is in a panic doesn't mean you have to jump into the chaos with them. This quote isn't about being heartless. It's about being honest with what you can give, clear with what your boundaries are, and really confident enough to let people sit in the results of their choices sometimes. Because when you're always jumping in to save the day, you're reinforcing a pattern for them and for you that says, my time is less valuable, my plans can wait, my peace isn't important. And this is something I'm really trying to instill in my kids too. As your kids get older, you'll see you get less involved in their activities and communications go directly to them. So it's really up to them to know what they need when they need it. And they come to you the night before with a panic saying they need something for school tomorrow, like it's your fault that they don't have it. We're really lucky that we can overnight things from Amazon Prime sometimes, but it doesn't always work out. And sometimes they need to learn the hard way. But I love using this quote on them and following up with you need to read your emails and you need to stay on top of things and communicate when you need things. And when you don't communicate, there are consequences like you showing up to school without the things you need. Sometimes I wish I could say that to people at work too, but can't always do that. Sometimes you just have to be a little nicer and sugarcoat things. But on the flip side, here's what we don't always talk about. And I really want us to go there today too. Have you ever been the one creating an emergency for someone else? I know I have. I am guilty. Maybe you waited too long to book childcare. Maybe you forgot a deadline and now you're leaning on your coworkers or your direct reports to help you scramble. Maybe you're relying on someone else's flexibility because your plan fell through. And here's the thing. Life happens. We're all human. Things get dropped. But we also have to own our role in the equation because just like their lack of planning isn't your emergency, your last minute chaos isn't theirs. It's really a two-way street. And I say this with so much love and zero judgment because I've been on both sides of this quote. I've been the mom burning out because I couldn't say no, but I've also been the mom who's asked someone else to jump in and fix something that I didn't plan for. That's why this mindset shift is so powerful because it holds space for both boundaries and responsibilities. So here's what I want you to carry into this week. First, you're allowed to say no to other people's poor planning. You're not required to rescue everyone. You're allowed to protect your time, your peace, and your plans. And second, you are also called to plan as well. Communicate clearly and really respect other people's time and their energy too. Not because you're perfect, but because you're growing, because you value the people around you, and because you want to show up the way you want others to show up for you. It's not about being rigid, it's about being responsible with my favorite thing to talk about, giving yourself grace. So, my challenge for you this week, mamas, is to pause and plan and pause and protect. First, the pause and protect. If someone tries to hand you an emergency that's really the result of their poor planning, practice pausing. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this actually mine to fix? And if the answer is no, try saying, I'm not available right now, but I could look at it tomorrow. Or I totally understand this feels urgent, but I'm not able to rearrange my schedule today. It might feel really uncomfortable, but boundaries are a muscle. And the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Second, I want you to pause and plan. Think of one area in your life where you tend to scramble last minute. Maybe it's meal planning, maybe it's a work deadline, maybe it's forgetting to communicate with your partner about this week's schedule. Been there, totally done that, but pick one thing and plan it before it becomes a fire drill. This way you're saying, I respect your time and mine too. So let's walk into this week holding both truths. We don't absorb other people's chaos and we don't create it either. I'd love to hear what you plan to work on this week. Head on over to our Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms, and tell us all about it. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Kerri Patt. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it on your Instagram stories and tag me, and let them know that they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life or come on over and hang out in our free Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Kerri Patt.